Law firm life is hard and it's not getting any easier. You're expected to perform at a high level consistently for a long period of time. And it's rare to find someone with that kind of stamina. So the nights crying behind closed doors pay off at the end? Will you make equity partner? Let's look at your chances today on Zippy Point. I'm Brock Romanek. I'm a big fan of yous. I remember it all too well. That time I closed my door at night and cried. Real tears. I was billing 3,000 hours per year. Yes, it can be done. I was the golden boy running multiple deals at once for several years in a row. Marriage in the dumps. The head partner literally yelling at me, "If I tell you to jump, you ask how high." He said that in the hall one day. I went for a walk after that. So much for being the golden boy. So things have changed since then. Things have changed since then, but not necessarily for the better. Making partner is not the holy grail anymore. In fact, you might work harder as a partner than you did as an associate. If you're not pulling your weight, zip, you're gone. So let's look at 5 things you can do to protect yourself and evaluate your odds of making equity partner. 1, do you feel lucky? 2, build up your subject matter expertise. 3, build relationships with clients. 4, all it takes is one client. 5, if your firm does not value you, move on. 1, do you feel lucky? There's no sure thing anymore. There's too much luck involved. So the best thing you can do is just not worry about it too much, right? It's better to worry about only those things that are within your control. Politics are a fact of life for firms. It's the way to get ahead, unfortunately. But playing politics can be exhausting, demoralizing. You have to really be resolved to keep up with that for years and years that it takes to make equity partner. And at the end of the day, it's still luck that decides your fate. You might have spent 7 years playing your cards just right politically, and then all of a sudden the firm announces a merger, and then all those asses that you've kissed for years wind up being marginalized. It happens, man. The compensation structure for firms today typically are rent-seeking. This economic theory means that you pay the lowest amount possible to get the talent that you need. Anything paid in excess of that is money that comes out of the pockets of the existing equity partners. So why should they make you partner if you're just going to deprive them of some of their money? So just because you're an expert now doesn't necessarily mean that the equity partners are going to value you more. They're going to boost your compensation, raise your billable rate, but it doesn't mean they're dying to have you join their club. If they do allow you in, you just lower the value of their membership. It's a lose-lose for them. So this rent-seeking behavior works up until you get to the equity partner level. Equity partners get paid according to how much equity in the firm they own, not necessarily by how much they're contributing anymore. It's a real mess. 2, build up your subject matter expertise. If you know your stuff, you know your stuff. There will always be a home for you somewhere, regardless if you have a book of business. So build your craft if you enjoy it. The key is if you enjoy it. Don't worry so much about partnership. If you don't enjoy it, you have bigger fish to fry other than making equity partner. Life is short, and it's amazing how many people I meet who confide to me that they're former lawyers, people doing things that are absolutely completely different than practicing law. I'm doing something on the fringes. So they got out soon after paying off their their school debt, and they're much happier for it in most cases. 3, develop relationships with clients. It goes without saying that if you do have a book of business, your chances of making equity partner are far greater. Your mobility is far greater, right? So build relationships with like-minded people you like and enjoy. When I was in-house, I wanted to work with people I liked. I hired law firm folks based on who they were, as much as like how much they knew. The key here is to be yourself. Don't be a pretender just to try to land a client. People will see through that. At least they will eventually. And we all have people that we like, and we all have people that we don't like. And we can't all be liked by everyone. That's just the way life is. It's a hard truth, one that's taken me quite a while to process. But, I want to be liked by everybody. That's why I'm putting on these videos. Don't leave any negative comments. But understanding that the hard truth frees you up, because then it's not you, it's just the way it is. 4, all it takes is one client. It's easy to land your first client. It's hard to build a diversified portfolio. And that's the bad news. The good news is that it might just take one client to set you up for life, for your career. Maybe you'll get lucky and that one client winds up being that jackpot. So for example, that one client is a private equity firm that grows as you get older, and the PE firm's own portfolio might mirror your own. That's a huge win for you. Or it could happen another way. Your only client gets bought. That could turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Let me explain. When your client gets bought and the management team gets fired, it's only natural for you to be down in the dumps. But these low points in life always seem to present the biggest opportunities. So in this case, the CEO might sail off into the sunset on the tails of a mighty severance package, but all those other C-suite officers and even more junior officers might eventually be landing new jobs at new companies. And these are all prospects, client prospects for you now. So the key lesson here is to build relationships with everyone in your path. Be compassionate. Treat people as people. One day they might have the power to hire you. As you get older, you'll see that play out time and time again. So don't wait until it's obvious that those junior staffers now are key contacts for you by starting that kind to them now. Lay the groundwork early. Be kind. Be friendly early. It's just a much better way to live regardless. 5, if your firm doesn't value you, move on. If your law firm undervalues you, you can always leave. That's hard to get your mind around, especially if you've invested a long period of time there. But these days, mobility is happening and it's not a negative. So that's a fortunate thing. And when I was younger and I moved around, people were looking at me a little askew, but now mobility is a part of everyday work life. People understand. They almost expect it. So like I was saying, it wasn't the case a few decades ago when I interviewed at Lockheed Martin in 1998. The general counsel glanced at my resume and remarked that he noticed that I had had 4 jobs over the past 10 years, 4 in 10 years. And he looked at me, And I doubt that would happen today. That actually seems like the norm, right? So churning is a big issue for law firms these days. It's part of their life cycle. So do your diligence when you're looking to move laterally. Find out about the other firm's lifestyle, learn what their churn rate is. What are the things about the firm that truly differ from your current situation, because the grass is always greener. What are the realistic expectations for that potential new firm? It is possible to be happier in a new home than your current one. Each place has their own culture, truly, and then that culture also changes over time, their own way of doing things. And if you get there and it ain't working out for you, boop, you're off to the next thing.